Hi there. I am on page 248 in your Green Social Studies books. This is the next lesson after the rights of citizens. This is the duties of citizens. Now, a duty is something that you should do or you are expected to do. So I'm going to get right into this, and please follow along with me. And this is important. If I think about my goals for my own children, my three boys, and my students, those who I feel responsible for, I hope that I encourage you and help lead you to become adults who are good, positive citizens that contribute in a good way to society. I think that's so important. So, duties of citizens. For every right, there is a responsibility. A responsibility is a duty or something a person must do because it is necessary or important. Voting, for example, is both a right and a responsibility. Our responsibilities. Citizens of the United States have many responsibilities. They have a responsibility to obey laws and to settle differences peacefully. They also have to pay taxes and to serve on a jury. A jury is a group of people who meet to decide whether a person has broken a law. Voters have a responsibility to learn about the people trying to be elected. Sometimes you do have to do some research. If you're going to vote in an election, which you are encouraged to do once you turn 18, you want to know who you're voting for and what kinds of things those people that you might vote in would be going after or in favor of. And here's a picture of an example of a jury, people that listen to a trial. People who break laws face consequences. A consequence is something that happens because of what a person does. If someone breaks a traffic law, one of the consequences may be an accident. A person who breaks any law may have to pay a fine or go to jail. Knowing limits. Citizens need to know the limits to their rights. For example, we have the right to gather in groups, but we must do so peacefully. We have the right to share our opinions, but we should also respect other people's opinions. One consequence of breaking a traffic law is paying a fine. So if someone gets a speeding ticket, for example, that would be a consequence of speeding, breaking the law. Serving your community. Some responsibilities, such as paying taxes and serving on a jury, are the law. Other responsibilities are not required by law, but are still important. One responsibility of being a citizen is to work for the common good, the good of everyone in a community. Then it says Wheaton, Illinois, which is a city in Illinois. People in communities help one another every day. Helping others is one way to work for the common good. The community of Wheaton, Illinois helped one of its citizens. Joel Gomez was hurt while fighting in the war in Iraq. He could no longer move his body and had to use a wheelchair. And the volunteers helped to build a house for this man. Look at that crowd of people. And way down in front, I believe that you may see there. Well, I'm not sure. It could be him. No, it probably isn't actually. I'm seeing him up here. There he is. He uses a wheelchair. That is Joel Gomez. A group of volunteers worked together to build Joel Gomez a new house. Volunteers are people who choose to work without getting paid. Gomez's new house had technology that would help him live a better life. Volunteers from more than 50 groups in Wheaton helped in other ways. School groups and firefighters held events to raise money for Gomez. One citizen even bought him a special van. I love seeing communities work together to help people out. It's a great thing, and it makes you feel great inside when you help someone who is in need. I'm going to go right into lesson 3, being a good citizen. What does it take to be a good citizen? Good citizens take action. They cooperate or work together for the good of the community. They try to make the community a better place for everyone. What is a good citizen? Good citizens follow the laws of the nation, the state, and the community. They speak out against laws that they think are unfair. They pay taxes and take part in the government by voting. Good citizens also show respect for themselves and for the people around them. Cooperating with classmates is one way to be a good citizen. So, even though you are not yet adults, when you interact with others in your house or at school or on a sports team you might play on or a group you might be involved with, cooperation, getting along, such an important skill. Adopting a highway, making it yours. Some groups do that and pick up litter from the highways. Being good citizens. Students are being good citizens when they show respect for their classmates and teachers. They follow rules, do their best work, and take part in class activities. Good citizens often show helpful character traits. A character trait is a quality that a person has, such as responsibility, trustworthiness, respect, fairness, patriotism, and caring. Helpful character traits usually make good citizenship traits too. Some citizens become leaders and bring big changes to people's lives. Others work with their neighbors to solve problems. They show a belief in justice or fairness. So justice means fairness for everyone. How would you describe a good citizen? Are you a good citizen? It's a great question. I have to ask myself sometimes, am I doing enough? I follow laws, I obey laws, I try to do the right thing, but am I doing all that I can and have the ability to do to help others and to make our community a better place to be? That's a great challenge, and I think it's a tough challenge, right? Because we tend to think of our own needs first, usually. Jimmy Carter and Rosalind, his wife, helped build homes for Habitat for Humanity. Now, Jimmy Carter was a president, one of our presidents previously when I was growing up. He was our president. Jimmy Carter was once president of the United States. Now he works for peace in countries around the world. He helps nations that disagree solve their problems peacefully. In 2002, Carter was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his work. Carter also volunteers for Habitat for Humanity. This is a group that builds homes for people who cannot pay for them. Volunteers like Jimmy Carter give their time and effort for free. They feel a responsibility to help other people. Rosa Parks. Love this story. We've talked about Rosa. Rosa Parks wanted to change laws that were unfair to African Americans. In some places in the 1950s, African Americans had to sit in the back of public buses. They could sit in the middle only if the seats were not needed for white people. In 1955, Parks was sitting in a middle seat of a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. When the bus filled up, Parks refused to give up her seat. The driver called the police and she was arrested. Parks and other African Americans in Montgomery had been planning a bus boycott. During a boycott, people refused to buy or use something. After Parks was arrested, many people refused to ride the bus. Their boycott caused the bus company to lose money. After almost a year, the law was changed. Those people walked to work or wherever they needed to go for almost a year instead of paying to ride that bus, and the bus company was forced to make changes. So she brought about change in a peaceful way. She worked for justice. This bus, the bus on which Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat, is now in a museum. Awesome story. Dolores Huerta. As a teacher, Dolores Huerta saw her students come to school hungry and poorly dressed. She decided to help them by helping their parents. The parents were mostly farm workers from Mexico and other countries. The families traveled all over the United States to find work picking fruits and vegetables. Because many of the farm workers were not United States citizens, they did not have many rights. Huerta started classes to teach the workers how to become citizens and how to vote. Later, she helped them earn more money so they could buy the food and clothing they needed. Dolores Huerta worked with Cesar Chavez to form the National Farm Workers Association. And then we have everyday heroes. Many people in a community show that they care by being everyday heroes. A hero is a person who does something important and sets an example for others. Some everyday heroes in your community may be parents, firefighters, police officers, teachers, and volunteers. Look at this fast fact. Ryan Hrelejak learned at the age of 6 that some people did not have clean water. That year, Ryan raised $70 to build a well in Africa. He kept working and has now raised more than $1 million. Ryan is shown here with his adopted brother, Jimmy. The summary statement, the overall main idea here: good citizens are responsible, caring, and fair. They work to help people in their community. They may be community leaders or act as everyday heroes. So my challenge to you, what can you do to be a positive light in your community? Even as children, you can do things. You have neighbors, maybe someone that you could help, someone that needs your help, a family member, someone that would appreciate you taking the time to be kind to them. That's where it starts, and it can grow once you get it started. So this is a good challenge for all of us, children and adults alike.